Recent news has brought images of terror and violence in schools, movie theaters, and other public places. Innocent children and adults are being killed, and there is only one culprit: guns. With this increase in violence appearing across the nation, arguments are being made for and against gun control, including new legislature and other ways to reduce these horrific acts. What people fail to realize is that the statistics behind weapons in our history, as well as the misinformation being fed to the public through media sources. Our rights have been given to us since the Bill of Rights and should not and could not legally change now. The American people should be allowed to possess and carry a weapon with limited restrictions. One of the main reasons we are allowed to possess guns today is because of our founding fathers. They were sure to include the right of the public to bear arms. In the late 1700s, the reason for this right was to protect the citizens from a government uprising and to have a form of defense if this were to happen. The emphasis of the reasoning is a form of defense. A study conducted by Gary Kleck and Mark Gertz in 1990 found that there were between 830,000 and 2.45 million defensive gun uses annually in the United States. Also, in nationwide crime victim surveys, about 108,000 people each year admit to using their gun in self-defense. The Bill of Rights gives us the right to bear arms for our own defense against our government. Also, the government possesses weapons far more powerful than the average citizen is allowed to own. Therefore, it serves as a bare minimum that Americans should be allowed to possess weapons and at least a handgun or pistol. Most of the main arguments being discussed today are the ethics and values involved in owning a gun. Many people believe that it may be unethical to own a gun for a number of reasons. However, many people disagree with this fact and hold their own beliefs when it comes to possessing a weapon. Jerry Henry says, "It is my strongly held belief that carrying a gun carried openly is a deterrent to crime." Jerry Henry is a strong advocate who supports not only the right to own a weapon, but also the right to openly carry the weapon. The faith and morality of the individuals possessing the weapon can also be a question. The malice or evil intent that an individual may have in regards to a weapon are not based on a person's values or morals. It is rather a lack of these beliefs that would create such a violent mindset. There is no value or belief system in this country that has been the root of these random acts of terror on innocent people. In other words, an atheist is not less likely to abuse the right to carry a weapon more than a devout Christian. Adam Lanza, who murdered 20 first graders in Newtown, Connecticut, had been a parishioner at St. Rose of Lima Roman Catholic Church in Newtown, along with his mother. There are countless numbers of arguments for each side of this pressing matter. One of the main questions that gun control advocates will bring up is, why do we need a gun? Many people believe that the best argument against those who support guns is that we do not even need guns in the first place. However, there are countless numbers of situations where a gun is needed and can even save your life. For example, Anthony Ciani questions what a person would do if faced with a grizzly bear while hunting with a government-limited 7 bullets. He also mentions that self-defense is another very important aspect of owning a weapon, and reminds us that, if faced with a violent situation, we would need to use as many bullets as needed to reduce the threat even if we are allowed a gun. In modern times, with more and more violent individuals illegally obtaining weapons, the right to own a gun for our own self-defense is of growing importance. Even if it was illegal for a private citizen to own a gun in the United States, the individuals who currently illegally possess a weapon would still do so, and the lives and safety of those who would and had since legally obtained weapons would be at risk. Also, a recent study by Franklin Zimring and Gordon Hawkins showed that non-gun homicide rate in our country is 3 times higher than the non-gun homicide rate in England. This shows that our society itself is more violent and that it is not the weapons. This gives us just another reason for a United States citizen to legally possess a weapon for his or her own safety. The ability to eliminate the negative stigma on guns and increase the knowledge and safety of these weapons is in our hands. Our country is on a decline of homicide rates over the last dozen or so years, and this can continue of people becoming more educated at a younger age. Instead of making guns seem taboo to children and creating a spike in their interest, we should instead educate them on the dangers and benefits of the weapons we have the right to own. The more we negatively discuss and push aside the ideas of owning a weapon, the more children will become interested. As far as removing the weapons from the hands of unworthy citizens, we need to look towards background checks and owner safety. Background checks don't seem to be the root of all this violence, but a more in-depth check of an individual's mental health and history would definitely help ease the worries of many people. After this, we look to the most important issue to be fixed in owning a weapon today: owner safety and control. In many of the more recent shootings, including Sandy Hook, have been caused by an individual getting a hold of either their parents' or another person's weapons. If we can find a safer alternative to storing weapons in our homes, we can greatly reduce the risk of a mentally unstable individual getting these guns. It is said and proven time and time again that guns don't kill people, people kill people. Our right to own a gun should not be destroyed by the acts of the few. It is the dignity of the safe gun owners that should be kept in our mind when discussing the ongoing issue. It is because of this that our constitutionally given rights should not be removed and the public should be allowed to possess weapons.